Happy New Year. We are so excited that 2019 is here. We look forward with great anticipation to the dawning of a new year, new opportunities to be a beacon in our community. And again, we welcome you to Q's on the Move. My name is Brother Donald Williams II. I will be your host for this segment of Q's on the Move that will spotlight. Today we're going to spotlight mentorship programs from the Divine Nine, which is the Black Greek fraternities. Also, we have a guest at the end of this podcast from Carnegie Mellon University. She will be announcing a wonderful program that is taking place in the Pittsburgh area on February the 13th, Dr. Feels Black. So you will hear from her at the end. I'm the chairman of the 2nd District Fatherhood Initiative and Mentoring Committee that covers 5 states. Our mission is clear, it's intentional, it's strategic to have all 80 active chapters impacting communities across the great state of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the great state of Maryland. Also, I'm the proud bosses of Mighty Menu chapter in Montgomery County, where community engagement and service are our watchwords. Again, we are so excited to continue this leadership, to provide leadership for the 2nd District under the Fatherhood and Mentoring that continues under the 36th District Representative J. Kendall Smalls. Again, we want all of our chapters to be engaged with doing what we do best, which is mentoring young boys. And this year, special emphasis on mentoring our men to help them become better dads. So today, as you can see, we have the spotlight on the Divine Nine. We have mentors representing men from Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. We have a mentor representing the men from Phi Beta Sigma, and a mentor representing Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity men. And so I call them superstars because they're going above and beyond what's required in making a real difference in the lives of young people. And so we'll hear from them shortly. To our family and friends, the call-in number for Q's on the Move is 301-429-9247. Q's on the Move Internet Podcast is every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9. And for those who want to connect with us on Facebook, it's facebook.com WBGR Entertainment /Q's on the Move. So my friends, again, we are so excited. I just want to say thank you so much in advance for all you continue to do. We have got some great outcomes with mentoring our folks. And so I guess I'll start the conversation with what brings you into this conversation. Give your name, your title, and anything else you want to. What brings you into this conversation?
Right. Good evening, Don. Thanks for having me. My name is French Pope Jr., Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I'm the chairman of the March of Dimes Committee, and I'm in the IUL chapter, which is in Montgomery County, Maryland, also known as the Monument chapter. And the reason we're known as the Monument chapter, a bit of history for you all. Our chapter initiated the initiative to build the MLK Memorial in Washington, D.C. All right, so it's from Montgomery County, Alpha Phi Alpha chapter, where the idea originated and started.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Now, we have 3 mentoring programs that we're actively involved with right now. We have a Paint Branch High School mentoring program. We have a group of brothers go out and work with the young men from age grade 9 through 12. We also have what's called Project Alpha. And Project Alpha is a real talk conversation about sexuality, relationship between men and women, boys and girls, and sexually transmitted diseases. And that's co-sponsored by the March of Dimes. Now, with the March of Dimes, just so you all know, our particular chapter was one of the top fundraising chapters in Montgomery County, in the Washington and the DMV area.
Wow.
We raised close to $10,000 last year, and we plan on exceeding that goal this year. Another one of our mentoring projects is LDI, or Leadership Development Institute, and that was incorporated or started back in 1983. And we've held at various locations like Morgan State, Howard, Towson, George Mason University, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. And in that particular program, it's a overnight stay on the college campus. High school young men go in on Thursday, they stay until Sunday. It's a variety of workshops, discussions, group interaction, role playing, and some fun activities. Some of the workshops we have is like branding, personal branding, dress for success, wealth building and management, team building, dining etiquette, law in your community, and protecting your brand. And one of the features I like about the program is that we have a recent college graduate come in and talk about what I wish I knew before I went to college. All right, which is very powerful because a lot of these guys didn't really think about it, and they're getting ready to go to college. And that's one of the other things we do. Also, during the program for LDI, we take the kids down to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and also down to the MLK Memorial for some cultural enlightenment.
Did you state what LDI means?
Leadership Development Institute.
Very good, very good. My brother, my
Alrighty.
friend.
My name is Robert Brown. I am the Sigma Beta Club coordinator for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated out of the chapter of Sigma 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 chapter right here in the Montgomery County and also in the DC area. And the club that we have is the Sigma Beta Club. And just like the founders of our Sigma Beta Club back in 1950, we saw a need in our communities, a growing need for some of our younger African American men. And so with that said, we saw that the Sigma Beta men can be an active role in the leadership and also in the continual growth of some of our African young men. The Sigma Beta Club is a national program, and we do operate in some of our local chapters in the area. Right now, our Sigma Beta chapter is right here in the Montgomery County, and we offer unique opportunities to develop wholesome values, leadership skills, social skills, and also cultural awareness for the young men. So in some of the areas that we do mentor with some of the young men, we also talk about some of the healthy aspects for ourselves and also for others so that they could take those healthy attributes into the school and into their communities. And we do that through some of the customers, through the community service-based events, and so we participate in items like the MLK Day of Service, and so the March of Dimes, the Relay for Life. We also have a couple of national partnerships with Fish and Wildlife, and also we do try to get the young men around STEM programs so they can start learning about the science and education and the medical side, and so. And in some of our other efforts, we talk about anti-bullying. So during the anti-bullying month, we went ahead and equipped our young men with the tools and skills that they needed to identify bullying, and also to take those items back to the schools, and so that when they see what's going on with bullying, they know they're equipped with the tools to do something about it and present the facts to the schools and also to the parents and let everyone in the community know what's going on in bullying. And so, and also some of the other programs we talk about, we'll have with our Bigger, Better Business. We have How to Dress for Success. We go ahead and start talking about how to prepare for college, the SAT test, and also college applications, essay contest writing. And so, in Phi Beta Sigma is also they're very confident in investing in the young men's growth into the next level. And so the young men also take an active role in accepting the responsibility and also loving the challenge all their way to their next level.
Robert Brown, you've done an excellent job for a number of years. Appreciate that.
No. Thank you guys.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
show them that red book.
So my name is Chris Thompson. I'm the Guide-Right Chairman of our fraternity's National Youth Service Program. Proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. I'm a member of the Silver Spring Alumni Chapter that is in Montgomery County. Our program is called Guide-Right. Like I said, it's our national service program. We have several initiatives under the Guide-Right program. I lead the Kappa League program, which is designed for students through grades 6 to 12. We actually work with students in Montgomery County, Howard County, PG County, DC. We have over 30 youth in our program. And this is all around achievement. Our fraternity's fundamental purpose is achievement. And so when we work with these young men, we try to expose them to different things that they may not be privy to in the school system. Our program is designed through 5 phases: self-identity, community and service, training. We have mentorship where all of our Kappa League members are with another chapter brother, and they get an opportunity to shadow that brother, learn about their different skill sets. Just as your program do, we also work with etiquette, team building, financial literacy, different things that they may not be accustomed to in the school system. So keeping up with our motto of building leaders one youth at a time, we want to make sure that they learn necessary skills to be successful in school and also post-secondary. So in our program, we work with those young men every 2 weeks. We either bring a speaker to speak on a specific topic.
Okay.
Our most recent speaker was the assistant director of NASA, and that person came in and gave a presentation. They talked about how they got to that position and the different roles in NASA that they probably wouldn't hear about anywhere else.
Right. All right.
And so we also collaborate with other organizations, such as the Omega Psi-Phi's, bringing in the students to the Game Changers event, My Brothers Keepers Network in PG County, working with the Sigma Gamma Rho, and their youth symposium. So it's not just work with our chapter. We broaden the networks to reach more students and collaborate with other organizations. And this is a year-round program. So in the summer, we don't meet every 2 weeks. We bring them to college tours. We do different. We have a program on the Guide Right. It's called Camp Kappa. We actually bring the Kappa Leaguers out. Let's say in the woods, but it's more of a bonding moment, and we talk about these real issues that a lot of our students don't have a role model, a positive role model in their household. They don't have a father figure, so we get a chance to really talk about that self-identity piece, and build that brotherhood with the youth. So that's a little bit about our program in Kappa.
Well, Chris, I tell you what, I commend you for Camp Kappa. Had the opportunity to send several of our boys the last 7 years. Great partnership with Camp Kappa, as well as we have with LDI, with the Alphas. And so one of our key messages and takeaway that I hope you're listening is that we are stronger together. And whether you're Greek or non-Greek, mentoring matters. Speaking of mentoring matters, let me ask you this question. Who was your first mentor? What was his name? And how did he impact your life?
Well, his name.
You got 2 minutes.
His name was French Pope Sr. That was my father, and I guess he was an unintentional mentor because the things he's done were instilled in me, and I didn't realize it. And then my kids do what I do. Like he started his own athletic association, basketball, football. I said, man, I haven't started athletic association, but I'm in a mentoring group called the Unity Christian Fellowship. I'm mentoring kids now, and I stay busy with the kids and my own children. And then with my kids, my son, he's a major in the Army now. He has reached back to his high school at Northwest High School, contacted the football players when he played, and they contact and work with the guys on the football team now, so they mentor those guys.
Beautiful.
My daughter is both of them are in the high school system. One is a cheerleader coach for Magruder High School, and the other one, she's a teacher at Clarksburg High School up there in Germantown or Clarksburg, and they both also are involved with cheerleading and gymnastics. So everybody's giving back to the community. Nobody's selfish here. We all contribute and do what we do. And I get that from my father. They get it, and I guess my grandkids will get it and keep on going.
How about you, Robert?
Oh, wow. My very first mentor was my father, Robert Sr., but also the biggest impact person in my life actually was a gentleman by the name of Sid Duplessis, and he was out of New Orleans, and he was a good friend of my father's, and he was a basketball coach, he was a baseball coach, and he was also a football coach. And so just having some of the conversations that we would have in the cars riding out to, I grew up in California, so we would ride out to San Jose, we would ride out to Santa Rosa and places like that, and some of the conversations in the car were about what am I going to do with my life? How he grew up and what kind of impact education had on his life. And so he kind of shared those types of things with me about, and also had a chance to see a married couple that I didn't get to see too often, and how they did it right. And so he would also talk about some of those things about respecting women, and when you're in high school, when you're in junior high, when all through life. And so he was a huge impact, even all the way up through when I graduated college. He was still, and I could still call him to this day. But even after college, he would also still talk about, some of the things, the life decisions that I need to make for my family, for my kids, and the type of educational values that I need to present to my kids so that they could go further as well.
Beautiful. Chris, who's that?
Well, I would say Gunnery Sergeant Charles Grubbs.
Left quite an impression on you.
Yes. So I joined the Marine Corps right outside of high school because I had no direction, and I was kind of a knucklehead. And he took me under his wing. It was my first post in the Marine Corps, and he was always teaching me life lessons and character values. I'm like, I just went through 13 weeks of boot camp. Like, I think I picked up those things, but we did things outside of work, and he was like a father figure to me, as a role model, and he was mentoring me, not knowing that I was being mentored. And I learned a lot from him, and I think that's that authentic relationship that we built, that we continued that out even when I left the Marine Corps and he retired. We still talk until to this day. So I think that when you could leave a positive impact on someone and carry on that legacy, and I think that's what I try to do in myself, knowing that I didn't have that one before I went to the Marine Corps, but he taught me those things, and so now I'm trying to make sure that I support the youth in those ways as well.
Beautiful. Mine was, of course, my dad, Donald Williams Sr. He's a veteran of the Vietnam War. And so while he was away, the men in the community stepped up. So I distinctly remember Coach Holmes, tall, about 6'4". I mean, he was ruling with an iron fist. He was a disciplinarian, no doubt about it. And so I remember Coach Holmes, and then Mr. Robinson, who used to come by on Saturday and pick me up to go play tennis. I don't think what I was doing was playing tennis, because I was collecting balls outside of the fence. But when my father was away, those were the two guys. And then when my dad came back, he was into karate. And so, of course, I had practiced a whole year, my yellow belt, my blue belt, and I couldn't wait for it to show them what I knew. So I had both of the best worlds of being mentored. But having a mentor is important. When I mentor my young guys, even today, find a mentor. And I often go for it. Hey, find a mentor for finance, find a mentor for your spiritual development, find a mentor that uplifts you, encourages you, and have a mentor in your life. You cannot do this journey as a black man by yourself. And so, hey, what I took away from your conversation, my brothers, is that lead by example in the home, in the church, and in the community. And so that's a beautiful thought.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thought. Hey, I got one more question to ask you. We got about 5 minutes before we bring in Dr. Fields. How did you come to provide leadership for your fraternity? French? 1 minute, man.
Okay, real quick. So it is, you have to find something that you're passionate about, that you believe in.
Absolutely.
You present it, or just run with it. A lot of people will follow you if you show compassion and desire, and they'll follow you whatever you do. So my thing is the March of Dimes. All right, I was exposed to a situation 10 years ago. I jumped on the opportunity, became the chairman of March of Dimes for my chapter. Also was the lead for March of Dimes at Federal Express Corporation where I work, and I have a passion about it, and I'm keeping that, and I stay in my lane. All right, I'm not trying to do a whole bunch of different things. I know what I do. I'm good at it, and I stay there, and that's how I show my leadership.
Excellent leadership with the March of Dimes.
Thanks.
Very important work, no doubt about it.
Yes. For myself, I knew that there were a lot of men that put a lot of time into my life growing up, because I could have easily strayed because of where I grew up. And so with that being said, I knew that in my heart, I needed to give back in some kind of way. And I knew that there was other young men that grew up just like me. And so as soon as we found out that we were going to go ahead and charter a Sigma Beta Club, I had already had 12 years of coaching experience. And so it was only natural that I would go ahead and take that leadership role, because I was coaching, but we were also mentoring young men at the same
Absolutely,
time. And so,
absolutely.
and at each level, we were getting them prepared for the next level. And it wasn't just about a sports lesson; it was a life lesson.
Life lesson.
With discipline and hard work. And so, with this program and the passion, I figured this was going to be what I was going to do for life, regardless. Because when I'm out in the community, people see me.
Yep.
The
Coach.
young men see me. I'm considered coach.
Right.
Parents still see me as coach. And so my heart and my passion is there for life.
Very good.
Thank you. So I'm going to echo my alpha brother over there. I think passion is very important. Outside of undergrad, I was in my grad program. I was involved in Kappa. It was our GuideWrite program, our Catholic program, that brought me into a chapter. And so I was passionate about that. I'm an educator by the heart. I'm a teacher. I'm a school principal.
Okay.
And so,
American hero, I might call it. American hero on the front lines, working
Yes.
with our kids.
so
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and this provided me an opportunity to give back to my community, follow our fraternity's purpose of achievement and mentoring these young men across the globe. So, I don't have I guess a story behind my leadership. Sometimes you volunteer, sometimes you voluntold.
Yeah, right.
But this is my heart, and this is somewhere I feel like I do well, and I could excel at it, and I could build these youth into young men and turn them into men, and so the hopes of them coming back and giving back to either my fraternity, hope so, and other organizations as well.
Great.
So thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
The key message as we conclude here with the mentoring, is that, hey, look, whether you're non-Greek or Greek or part of any other organization, mentoring matters. Our boys, our youth needs us, and especially our boys. And so, one, leadership in action. That's how we all learn. And I'm so proud of our fraternities living up to the mandate of reaching back into the community and making a difference in the lives of our boys and providing and showing them and teaching them the way to become the next generation of leaders. And so, again, thank you for all your work you have done with mentoring. We're going to bring on Dr. Fields, and if you can take care of that, Chris, for me. Dr. Etta Fields has is she on? There she is.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to Q's on the Move, my sister. You are
Thank
on.
you very much to be here.
Please go ahead and tell us about this wonderful program in the Pittsburgh area.
Okay. Well, I'm an associate professor at Carnegie Mellon University, and I've written for the last 20 or so years about rice, West African technology that was developed hundreds of years before the transatlantic slave trade, and its exploitation and use. First its transmission to coastal South Carolina and Georgia via the transatlantic slave trade, and then its exploitation and use during slavery by enslaved Africans on these rice plantations. And I should say the exploitation, of course, took place by planters. So in addition to writing books a few years ago, I decided to try to put history on stage and to give it a very different platform. And we are having a performance in Pittsburgh, which is called Cusup, a Requiem for Rice. It is a new piece of contemporary classical music, which has been commissioned by 3 local foundations. And it will be our first performance of the new score in Pittsburgh on February 13th, 2019. It is a piece of classical music written about slavery and really written to honor the enslaved for not only the strength and the labor that they did, but also for the technology that they transmitted to the rice plantations which made the planters, the whites who owned the plantations, the richest in the U.S. South. It will be performed by the Color of Music Festival Orchestra, which is an international group of musical ambassadors based in Charleston, South Carolina. And they are all people of African descent. So from the conductors to all of the musicians, this will be an all-black orchestra here in Pittsburgh. And we're really excited. We have an amazing composer whose name is John Weinglass. John has won 3 Emmy Awards. He's a TV and film composer. And John and I are both sort of part of the Gullah Geechee diaspora, which means that we both have roots. Both of our fathers were born and spent a portion of their childhoods in the South Carolina Lowcountry. Both of our families are from the area. Both of our families are from the rice plantations that we are writing about. So we're very excited to bring this piece to Pittsburgh, to debut it here. And it will go on to have a life of its own and be played by the Color of Music as the Color of Music travels to other cities, and also to be performed by other orchestras.
Well, tell us, Dr. Fields Black, how can we help you? This is your chance to
Well-
give a shout out. Before you answer that, let me give a shout out to my brother, Dr. George D. Taylor from California.
Yes.
He's the editor and publisher of our Fatherhood Initiative newsletter. He does a great job, and he wanted to make sure we connected. So here's your opportunity to tell us how the audience, they can help us.
Yes, and I am so grateful to Dr. Taylor. You can help us in a couple of ways. Number one, buy tickets. Tickets are on sale on our website, www.requiemforrice.com, as well as www.colorofmusic.org. The regular price for tickets is $30 for adults, $25 for students and seniors. Is it 25 or is it 20? I can't remember. I'm sorry. But we also have a special group rate for tickets. So for any group of 10 or more, and it doesn't matter who that group is, it could be your children and grandchildren, it could be members of your church, members of your chapter, co-workers, it doesn't matter. 10 or more tickets, we have a discounted price, $20 for adults, and I believe it's $15 for students and seniors. So you can buy tickets. If you want to donate tickets, people who are not in the area and or cannot attend the performance, we are giving tickets away to a number of local groups of kids, including Afro-American Music Institute, the Homewood Children's Village, the Woodland Hills High School Orchestra, and discounted tickets to Pittsburgh Public Schools and Propel Charter Schools. So if you want to donate tickets, you could buy them online and put in the memo donation, or you can make donations directly on our website. We have a donation button on www.requiemforrice.com and just put donation, tickets in the memo line. And that's the last way you can help. If anyone wants to be a donor, be a sponsor, no gift is too small. Every gift will help us to bring this pretty ambitious project to fruition, help us finish the work, help the work have a life of its own, and help us to involve as many students as possible. You can also make donations on our website, www.requiemforrice.com. There's a donation button, as I said, where you make credit card donations online, and there's also a mailing address if you want to mail a check.
Thank you so much for joining us on Cues on the Move and for the great work you're doing. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you for having us, and thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing as well.
Appreciate. So that concludes our Cues on the Move. Quick commercial. Hey, we are seeking corporate sponsors and local businesses, individuals, like-minded organizations that work directly with our young males and our fathers to help underwrite Cues on the Move. See you next week on Q's on the Move. Thank you so much, my brothers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Wait till it goes.
Thank you.